Okay, technical difficulty there. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to take the small end, you're going to measure out your tie depending on how long your tie is. I'd say for a half Windsor, measure it so it's about 3/4 of the way up. So this, for me, it's hard to see because I've got my camera facing a certain way. This is about halfway down the tie. So half the tie is sticking down lower. I'll show you. Half the tie is sticking down lower than the other half. Okay? All right. That's important because you want the tie, this, to be just below your belt seam or your belt buckle. You want it to hide your belt buckle, but you don't want the thing down to your knees, and you don't want it way up here either. Okay? And if you never tied a tie, take some practice. I don't always get it right. Sometimes I have to retie a tie too. So I might have to do that on this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tie, and for a half Windsor, now imagine this movement and I'm facing this way. So all of your movements are going to be reversed from what I'm doing. Okay? So what you'll want to do is you want to take the small end and the big end. Take the big end, this is for a half Windsor. Take the big end and go over the small end just like this. Like I'm going to go with my hands. You're going to use your fingers like this, basically, right? But then you're going to make an X with the tie. Right end over the left end, okay? Or big end over the small end, I should say. And then what you want to do is you want to pinch it in your fingers like this. And you'll have them dangling right like this. You'll have a little piece right there, and the big piece will still be dangling down, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your other hand that's not holding the tie and bring this tie, the big end, through the loop that's under your neck, up like this. Again, this is for a half Windsor. And bring it back over, kind of on top of your hand that's holding the tie. Okay, so again, just to reiterate those two steps. Step one is make an X. Switch hands. Step two is take the big piece, go under the loop, like that. You can just let it dangle for now. Then you're going to take it opposite the way you just came. So you went from right with the big end, right to left. And then you're going to stretch it back over to the right like this. This is where you're going to switch your hand to your left hand. This is just the way I do it. Some guys can do this better than I can. You're going to take your finger, you're going to switch your fingers again. So now I'm holding the front of the tie. And you'll notice that sometimes it gets a little bunched up. Don't worry about that. Just flip it so that it's like that. You want the seam to always face away from you. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your right hand, or your hand that's holding the big part of the tie, and come underneath, around the back side. You can grab it like this. Just flip it over there to your left. Okay. So now if you notice, I've got, this is where I did my little twist. And all I've done is I've come up. After I make my right hand cross, I come underneath like this. Okay. Because what we're going to do next is we're going to go around, and this is what I like to do sometimes if I'm not in a hurry. If I really want the tie to look really good, put your two fingers here and act like you're not flicking somebody off, but what you do is, or one finger, you want to have a grip to this. Take this hand and wrap your tie back around, so you're making a basketball hoop basically. Then you're going to come back up underneath the loop, like that, and put the ball into the hoop. And it should look kind of like this. So let me redo that again from step one. Okay, step one, short end, big end. Step 2, make an X. Step 3, bring that X up underneath your loop, back over to your other side. Switch fingers. You want to pull it a little taut, like this. And then you're going to bring that over. Put your fingers right there, so you're holding this all together. Short end, big end. Underneath the back side. Flip them off. Make a hoop. Underneath. Into the hoop. And now at this point, all you got to do is just pull down on the big part. Now that's an ugly one. I told you I had to retie this. It's because I'm trying to teach at the same time. So if you follow all the steps that I just told you, it'll look like this. Think of my father teaching me how to do this for the first time. All right. And you just pull down on the small end, you've got a tie. And if you did it right and you measure it right, like I did this time, the small end should be slightly shorter than the big end in the back. Like that. And then the loops on the back, what you want to do with those, what some people do, I do, is you take the small end and you just feed it through the loops. And that keeps that, if your tie dangles around, that small end ain't dangling around on you. So that's a half Windsor knot. Okay? And actually, let me throw a real quick shirt on here over my t-shirt here. I'll throw on this purple shirt. My name is not a pimp named Slickback, y'all. All right. I'm not gonna buckle this. I'm not gonna button this up all the way here, so because I got this t-shirt on here. But all right. You'll have your dress shirt. You take your button that top button to keep your, and in here, those little plastic pieces that stick out on the dress shirt, don't get rid of them. You need those. Those are stirrups or stirruts, or I can't remember what they're called, but you keep them because they keep your collar straight. Anyway, let's do that again. Take our tie, short end, long end. I'm just gonna do it half Windsor. You need to learn how to tie a tie, because if you have a job interview, you can't show up with a shirt on without a tie. So now, bam. And then you can adjust your tie accordingly. And now you've got a tie. That's a half Windsor tie. Just like that. Now, let's do a full Windsor. It's a bit beefier. It's basically one more twist. So we're going to do the same thing we did before, except we're going to make this left end just a little longer, because half Windsors take up a little bit more of the tie material. So we're going to make this just a little longer. And I've got mine at least halfway. We'll go over right there. We'll go over right there. So now, a full Windsor is basically the same thing, except you're going to come underneath more than once. So you still do the same T underneath, just like a half Windsor. The difference is instead of coming around and up and under, you take this and you come back up underneath to the opposite side that you came from. And you're switching your hand again. And then you come up underneath, make your little hoop. Put it in there. You got a full Windsor. Now, that's not my best full Windsor. It makes a shorter tie. So you need less material on this side and more material on this right side. Excuse me. So I'll do it this way. Up, underneath. Up, underneath again. Round. And under. And that is a full Windsor. And now, all I do is I just tighten my tie. I'm not trying to struggle myself, yo. And you'll notice that it's a little bit bigger tie. I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay. It's a little bit bigger tie. Now, a Pret nut. It's one that I don't tie too often. See if I can remember how to do this. You take the seam and you flip it upside down. So the seam's going to be facing away from your body. So now you see I've got the seams here, right, left. And instead of coming over, you're going to come underneath. It's basically like a reverse half Windsor, I think. Underneath, and you come over instead of under. And then you come over, under, and through. And sometimes when you come underneath that, your tie will get reversed. Just flip it. I don't think I tied that right. Let me tie it one more time a little faster. See, when you've been doing it for a long time, it's kind of hard to teach it. Because you've been doing it for a long time. You just do it secondhand nature. So, underneath, over the top, over the top again, and through. And that, I suck at Pret Nuts. That's not even close to a Pret Nut. That's why I don't use them. But it's good to know how to tie one now. Let's do that one more time. Okay. Oop, that's over. Underneath. Top. Underneath. Trick is making it look kind of like a tie. I don't think I did that right. Let's see how that looks. It's a thinner knot, so, but I don't like them. I don't like Pret Nuts, but you got to learn to at least know how to tie a tie multiple ways. Right. You never know when the occasion might call for it. So that, my good people, is how you would tie a tie. I might redo this video with a more vertical look to it so you can see. But that's the first lesson. How to tie a tie. I'll do it one more time for you. Half and a full. Short end, long end. All right? See the difference. Seam. Seam faces your neck. Like you go into the shop, you know, you go to the barber shop and they put the paper around your neck. Think of this, the paper around your neck. Right? And then you just go. And then the more you do it, the better you get at it. And the more you can help others at it as well. My neck is all sweaty because I was in that shirt and it's warm in here. So yeah, I mean, there will be a next lesson. I think the next lesson would be how to balance a checkbook or how to write a check. That's a good one. How to write a check. I have 3 daughters. My 17-year-old has a job. She's got her own checking account, debit card, and she knows how to write checks, all that kind of stuff. So that'll be the next lesson.